Can Katakuri see the future? Yes and no. In One Piece universe so far, Oda has given this power to only one person, and that person is Madame Shirley. In her case, her powers were not explained how she can see the future. Is the reason why she can see the future the crystal ball that she uses? If so, does this mean that anyone who uses that crystal ball can see the future too? Or this power is a combination of her own powers and the powers of the crystal ball? The second one is more possible. But this power it is not explained, so it belongs in the fantasy category. Technically speaking, Haki belongs to the same category as well, but I personally have different definitions when it comes to what is fantasy and what is science fiction. As long as there is an explanation about a power that exists in the story and makes sense, I always consider to be science fiction, but if there isn't an explanation, then it is fantasy. And now let's compare Madame Shirley's powers with Katakuri's. Madame Shirley can predict an event that will happen in the future that will affect a lot of people. One example is that she predicted the Great Pirate Age, while Katakuri can predict the actions of one person. Capone came up with a plan on how to kill Big Mom, but if Katakuri can see the future, does this mean that this plan will fail? Not really. I think Katakuri has two restrictions when it comes to his ability to see the future. Number one, he can only predict one or two actions in the next couple of seconds. He cannot see the full picture, so he will not be able to figure out the plan. Number two, I think he's limited to only one person at a time because focusing on more than one person would be confusing for him and his brain would not be able to process the information that he is receiving. In order to understand this better, we have to look at how King's Haki works because we have more information about it. When Luffy used King's Haki for the first time, it did affect everyone around him because he did not aim at anyone. Rayleigh did teach him how to control and aim his Haki in order to attack only his enemies, and this way his Haki attacks are even more powerful and effective. The important thing to know is that King's Haki is not a physical attack, but a mental attack, so it attacks the mind and that's why people lose consciousness. But there is an exception to this rule, and that exception is Shanks. He can do both. His King's Haki is so advanced that he can use it even as a physical attack. And with all this being said, when it comes to Katakuri, he is not using his Haki to attack the brain of the person to make him lose consciousness, but he is doing the opposite. Katakuri is reading people's mind, and because of this, it creates the illusion that he can see the future when he's not. And that's why he cannot predict that Big Mom will be attacked at the wedding or may be killed. While Madame Shirley did predict that Whitebeard would die in Marineford. Katakuri has no doubts for Capone and his men because Big Mom trusts them, but even if he does and he would read their minds, he will not be able to learn about the plan. Because if Katakuri would look inside Capone's mind when he enters into the hall when the wedding is being held, then the only thing that Katakuri would be able to learn from Capone is in which table he will sit and what he is going to drink. So Katakuri can read people's mind, but only about the stuff that they are thinking of doing at the moment. This ability of his is not useful to uncover a conspiracy against him or his people, but is very useful in one-on-one battle, because he can predict every move of his opponent. The only way how Katakuri can be defeated is if the opponent has such a powerful attack that he cannot dodge it or defend himself. Thanks for watching, like and share if you liked this video and subscribe for more One Piece videos.